Hey, honey, should I tell the Parvo story? What do you think? Give me a kiss. Hmm. You don't think I should tell it, huh? Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell it anyway. Okay. So, anyway, my mother got sick, and I was caring for her at home, and so her quality of life was horrible. So I searched on the internet, and actually, after about a year and a half, 2 years of searching continuously, I found this study where patients like my mother took this drug and miraculously they became uh, well again. They were suffering dementia really bad, and like my mother, she was pooping on the floor. It was so bad, and didn't know who she was. And anyway, so I find this medicine. Then I go to the doctor and ask him about it, and said, "Hey, I think we should give Mom this drug." And I found it on the internet. Well, he didn't laugh. He was a really good doctor, and he was aware of the study that I had found, and but he wasn't uh, aware that they had published results on it yet. And so anyway, so he said, "Give me a couple of days, and I'll get back to you." And he did, and it was a miracle. I mean, I gave her the drug, and she went from not knowing who she was, pooping on the floor. 4 hours after taking the drug, she was asking me if she could drive the car. Wow. It was a miracle. Her quality of life improved dramatically. How does this all relate to Parvo? After she passed, I still had some of the medicine. And I had this dog, and it got Parvo, and I took it to the vet where I had gotten the Parvo vaccination, and the vet said, "Well, I'm sorry, the vaccinations are only 90% effective. That means out of every 10 dogs that we give it to, one of them it's not going to work on. Your dog is that one." And then they said, "Well, the vet actually said, you can take the dog to the uh, veterinary hospital and spend a bunch of money and the dog will die. Or you could treat it yourself at home and spend some money and time and the dog will die." And I said, "Well, I can't afford the dog hospital, so give me the stuff and I'll do it at home." And they gave me this saline solution to shoot underneath the skin, and I'd fill the dog up with, I had to waterboard the dog with this giant syringe and get fluid into its stomach, as well as inject water underneath the tissue, underneath the skin, so that the dog could absorb it. After a week of doing this, it's Friday night, and the dog is laying on the floor, hasn't eaten or drank it. Everything that goes into the dog comes right back out. And I look at the dog and I said, if I don't do something different, this dog's going to be dead in the morning. I immediately went on the internet and looked up Parvo so that I could get a good understanding of what sort of virus it was and so forth. And the more I'm reading the information about the Parvo, the more I realize, well, this is very similar to the complications my mother was suffering from. The dog's going to be dead in the morning if I don't do something different. So I took one of the miracle pills that I had given my mother, and I cut the proper dosage size for the dog's weight, and I gave that dog the pill, thinking this might, I don't know what's going to happen. This drug was tested in animals, so the dog should not have any complications from it. It should just not do anything, is really what I expected. But, there was slim possibility it'd kill the dog, but the dog was going to die anyway. The dog would be dead in the morning. I'm 100% certain of it. I gave the dog the drug. 4 hours later, I hear his collar at the dog food bowl. The dog has gotten up, walked across the room, and is eating out of the dog food bowl. Just like with my mother, it was a miracle. And the dog was fine after that. It started eating normal. Everything was fine. I took it to the vet about a week later and told them about it. And she said, well, she poo-pooed the medicine thing. That's why I didn't mention any names here or anything like that. But in my eyes, it was a miracle. So that was the funny story. It's not funny. It was good. It was a success. The dog did not die.